good day. Good to see you all again. Sketch and Swad, I'm seeing you after a very long time. We'll just wait for a few minutes for people to join in. Some more people, just let's give them 2 minutes. From yesterday. Hi Kashish. So, and I was just crossing that I don't get to push it from today. Usually for the class I do my design and keep it off a little 2 days ahead, very rarely, but I think things were not doing good out here, so I just picked up something which has been going around in the group, and it is my favorite tangle, and I play around like anything on that, so hopefully you guys like it. It's just going to be a mono tangle, very simple but a little complex, where you need to just focus on it. So that's why I had this message card of focus, and I had this tangle, this message of relax, which is most important right now, because the way the situation is around here in India especially, it is little on the not looking good, so across, but India is little going on the rough phase, so that's the reason I said let's exchange energy, because I also needed some positive energy. So here I am today evening. So this is a small message, so we will start the session. So this is a small message which is talking about the proprietorship and and that I'm a certified Zentangle teacher who is authorized to teach and spread the awareness about Zentangle in the true form. I'm Certified Zentangle Teacher, and this video is whatever sessions I'm taking. It's only for you to view it, to create it and share it. No commercial use or any other further use of this, because the proprietorship is with me. That's what the small note which talks about it. So we will be using the Zentangle standard tile, which is our 3.5-inch square tile. So if you do not have this, you could use any of the good cardstock or a sketch journal, which is good enough, with a good paper where you're going to just a paper which is good enough to draw, where you don't have the bleeding. What we mean by bleeding is that blotting. So we use this paper, which is, and we'll be using Sakura pen. So I'm using a Sakura graphite Sakura pen and a graphite pencil of Zentangle and a stub. If you do not have a Sakura pen, you could use any other pen which is good enough to write and doesn't blot. And a graphite pencil, any normal graphite pencil is also good. You can use a stub or a tortillon or a earbud. Any of these is good, but these two are used primarily to give a nice dimensional effect to the artwork, 3D effect, which is what would be needed today in our work. We will be doing this primarily. So these are the two. I use also a woodless graphite pencil of Zentangle. Right. So before we start, let's do our hi Neha. Before we start our practice session, hi Anjali, we will do our breathing exercise, which is just to relax ourselves and relax and stretch ourselves, make ourselves comfortable, and keep our mind in a relaxed, which is what is needed right now. So let's take our deep breath, and conscious deep breath, and exhale it out. You could follow my instructions. So when I say time, take a nice deep breath, and exhale it out. We could do 3 count, and another 3 count. You could take nice memories, or you could do in all the 6 counts. You could take nice deep breath with memories, good memories which you want to cherish, and exhale whatever is bothering you, anything, just exhale it out. And then we could do last a small prayer for the safety of all of us, and for people who are going through, and to give them comfort, and thank you to the God for this particular moment that we are connected. Gratitude to the art supply. Anything you want to give your gratitude, you could give your gratitude from your heart and mind. So let's do our deep breathing. Take a nice deep breath and exhale it out. Take another nice deep breath and exhale it out. Take another nice deep breath and exhale. 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 Thank you. Okay, so I was just telling people who have joined in late, I was just telling that this is a proprietorship, and to say that I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and I am teaching. This teaching which I am doing right now is only for you to view it and enjoy it and share it, for no other commercial purpose. And the tools what I'm going to use a Zentangle tile, which is 3.5-inch. If you do not have it, you could use any good art paper or a sketchbook, or any paper which is good that it doesn't have a blotting of your ink. And I'm using a Sakura pen. I'm going to use a Sakura pen and my graphite pencil from Zentangle and a stub. If you do not have these, any of these good pen or a normal graphite pencil or a earbud or a tortillon or a stub is good enough for you, because primarily pencil and the graphite is used to give a nice three-dimensional effect to our work. So what I'm going to do is going to do a practice. We're going to do a pattern called Tiger today, and this is by a person by name Thomas Pedro. He's from Spain. These patterns are really I would say it is a challenging, and I do these patterns at these particular moment when I really need to relax myself, which keeps me occupied, focused, and challenges me. So this is something very challenging. I will try to teach you in a very simple way so that you could remember it. If you remember the Huggins pattern, this will kind of reconnect to that. So before going, this is what the pattern is, what it is, and I will show you some more samples because I love this pattern and I played around a lot last year when I got to see his patterns. So I have a page in one of my journal only on his patterns, so that also I will show if you have time in the end. But I will show you different takes which I have done it on it. Today I'm going to do a little different, so that's a challenge being I took it for myself. Okay, so the way I do it is that I draw a line. Just as of now I'm just drawing 3 straight lines. Okay, and what I do is I actually draw it's like I would do it in a pencil, that would be more easier, that I draw like these zigzag lines in this way, and giving a space. I don't go towards the lines, I give a little space from the line to this, and again a line from this and this. The same way I do, but here is in this opposite direction it will go. Right? You could do the tricks. What I'm going to tell you is that you could do the one line when you're doing it. You could just draw it like this and draw it like this and draw this like this across your lines. Presume if you're drawn 4, if you're going to draw 4 or a whatever in a whatever direction. So what happens, that helps you, and then when you draw this you will be able to say, okay, this is my dot, this is my dot, and this is my dot, and this is my dot, and I could just join the dots. Right? So you could do the first one and then can do it, right? Right? And let's do this out here. Now I've done this, let me exchange these lines. So now this is going to be from here to here. See, it's going to be easy. Just join these dots. Same way. Right? And then what we do is we draw. Remember that it is the first one, what you draw is facing this. So I say this a telephone handset, it's facing this line, it is not on the opposite direction. So it is this way, and then we do this way, because I put those dots out there. Now I'm going to go put the dots bigger so that it's easier. Just placing my dots, and if you see I'm not placing it too close to the line, I'm keeping a little distance. Right? And then we do this. This is come this way, then we go out, out, and out. All on the out direction. So the same way this will be going this way, right, and the same way now this will, so if you see this is going to be a reflection of this. I did a, it's actually, it has to be facing 2 and I just did a oops out here. So that's why I said you need to be just focused on it. So I'll just do it out here one more. Just ignore this. I'm just going to keep my hand out here so that this is a line out here. That's why I said my focus went to see someone who had written something, so I just went to notice that. So my focus went. So that's why it's very important that we focus. So this is nearer to the line, so this is going to be this way now, right? So it's going to be this way, the circle, this is a circle, this is a circle, right? So now what we will do is, so if you see this, it's going to be open, right? So it is going to be like this. Right? And what we do is we just, you could do a lot of in this by the way we have done it on Huggins, by doing a lot of embellishment and decorating it, right? And you could just put your graphite on this side, which we will, very simple one, what I'm like, very simple, a triangle is what we will do it. And you can just do a shading on alternate sides and just pull it out. Right, we will do that shading effect onto our main tie when we're creating it. Is this clear? Do you want me to repeat it? Is this clear, or you want me to again show? It's simple, that you draw a first line, which we keep it as one of the center one, and we draw up down a zigzag line, and from that, once you've drawn those dots, you could put those little dots and draw across your sleeping line. We call it as a sleeping line for easy reference. So you do another sleeping line, so that becomes your reference point for you to do your zigzag, so that they come in the same place, so that you don't have an up and down, so they come kind. And you know, even if they come up and down, it's okay. In Zentangle we say it's fine because it's different. That's all, your result is going to be different. That is all it is going to be. So right, and then we do like what we do it in our Huggins. We're going to do an open, you can see a bracket, or you can see a telephone handset, this way, and this way, and this way. So they are like opposite. So this is facing this side, this is going to face that side, then you keep doing it in the, so your first and your third would be the same, second and fourth will be same when you're doing it, right? Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the my older one, but what I've done for this class I'm not going to show. So if you see it here, I have done it out here. This is kind of a, which I'm going to just show you a take, which I've done it last year. This I had done it for last year during a Valentine month. So it was like right, so it's this way, if you can see it. And this is another one. We had done it for Valentine month last year, sorry. And this is another one, and this goes as the bigger one and the smaller one, right? So this is very simple, but you can do it. Sure, Valerie, you can take the replay. I hope I don't have an issue in getting it saved on my IHTV. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take your tile. So while I have drawn the string, because that's a challenge, so I've drawn the string, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little on the darker end. So I'm going to draw my center line. Just going to darken it, because anyway I'm going to ink it up, so I'm going to darken it. I'm drawing grids from the center of the tile to the other side, and this too, but I'm just ensuring that this is a little closer and this is a little broader, and you can play around varying on it. And I'm trying to keep that uniform to it. Right, and I'm going to keep this as my reference, and I'm going to draw my ops, and I'm going to keep that as my reference point, and I'm going to draw my zigzag line. I should remember to zoom out, because pencil string you have to do it very light, but I'm doing it dark because I'm going to ink on top of it, so it's okay. So when you don't need to, when you're not going to ink it on top, so always put your pencil string, which we are using it, in a very light way. See, if you can see here, before I ink the line, my pencil is very light out here, if you could see that, right? I'm going to use my pen. I'm going to use my Micron 05. The reason we always recommend Sakura, I had shown it from a couple of classes now. I'm going to show it here. So this was not done, this style was not done with Sakura Micron pen. It was done with different brands of pens, not specifying those brands here. So if you see it, it kind of fades. And this was done sometime in, I can show you the date that I've done it around it, 2019. Can you see it? So it is something which I have done it, and I write it down some of mine. So I've done this as an experiment. So even today's class, I'm going to use another pen just for me to experiment and see how the pen is going to, and that's how we do an experiment and see it. But if you see the work what we do with Micron Sakura, and they really work. See, if you see this, I have done it with Sakura Micron. It's going to be more than a year. See, still bright, and see, these are all bright. Right? So that's why we strongly recommend Sakura products. So now what I'm going to do is, now I just get to see it that this particular line is not going to be straight for me. So I just going and correcting it little. So I just turned a little angle of it. So I'm just checking it out. Right. So I'm just going to draw my orbs out here small. Right. And I'm going to put my orbs out here. On the junctions, I'm just going and putting it. Now I'm going to zoom out, because otherwise when I'm drawing it goes off focus. Now when you're drawing your orbs, it doesn't mean that whether you need to draw in inside or outside, so but ensure that you have a space between those lines. You can do one by one column, so it doesn't need that you need to finish all. I'm just doing it because I know how the flow is going to be. Right. So we start with the center one, which is easier. I'm just going to do it. You can draw straight or you can draw a little curvy also. That's fine. And if you draw it a little more broader, this can be a little more, I've done a little broader zigzag. You can do a little narrow zigzag, so you get a little narrow one, which kind of your sleeping of this one is little on the more on the slanting side, is more on the other side, your orientation is, so you will get a different. So I'm just going to ink all these. The same way I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do it from outside of this. So I'm going outside from this side to the outside. Now for me this is outside and I'm going to come outside to this. And then I'm going to do in this one, it's going to ink this all these orbs. Right. It's going to be, so I'm just going to follow the same direction out here. And keep rotating your tile. So now when we have done the first, second, third, right? So this is going to be my second. So it will be a reference of this. So you can use as your reference. When you're doing these patterns is when it kind of focuses you, so you really focus and you relax yourself. No, and unless you feel the pattern is too challenging, don't do it, leave it, because we want you to do something which is relaxing. You get that's why we deconstruct and teach you in a very simple way, so that you get to understand it and it's easy for you to do it. So now we will go ahead and do it this one also. So now if you see it, this is going to be my reference out here. I'm not inking it right now, I'm just leaving it in pencil. Now this is one, so it's going to be reflection of this, so it's going to be this way. what we're going to do is I'm going to draw, but I'm not going to draw orb out here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw here from here, and I'm going to do the same thing out here. I'm just going to do a joint junction out there. The same way, what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to join here, and the same way what we are going to do is here, I'm going to do right from a different place, right, and I'm going to just join it out here. Just trying to bring it the corner one a little different. I'm going to do it here again. Right. If you feel like to draw, you could draw here or one more on this edge, or you can just leave it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink all this in black today. So what I'm going to try to do is something. I gave a blue as a sky blue because it's kind of to relax it, so I just did a blue out here, and just to give this. So today what I'm going to do is a little black, and this is another different way I had done it. So if you have more space, so that was a different, this is from a center, this is like a tile with a straight, so I've done this, so I've done that. So that's the pattern now. Now what we were going to do is we're just going to leave it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give an aura to all of this place. You can do thin aura or you can do a broader aura. Just a tiny aura. Same way we continue out here. So we'll just go do aura. So if you feel little anxious or feeling little, just take a tile and just do it. That really calms you down, relaxes you. That's what I've been practicing it. But yesterday I was not in the mind frame to, because because I needed to relax, because when I'm teaching I would need to talk, I need to, but when I'm not, when I need my own space, I would rather get into a Zen meditative space and get myself relaxed. So yesterday I didn't have the energy to teach, because there were a lot of things which is happening in my inner circles of my friends. So I just needed my own space, so that's why I couldn't take the class yesterday. So right, we have done, right? So now what we will do is we will do the inner aura for these also. The reason that we're doing an inner aura, so because when we ink it up, so then that can be clearly seen. Actually the pattern is this is our own extension, just to get that pointed one. So we've done those ones. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this line, straight line. Right? I'm going to draw all these ones. So that's why I was fine in drawing it in the pencil mark a little on the darker end. So here I can just draw these. Right? So now what I'm going to use one direction is what I'm going to do, which I always like doing it when I do Huggins. So the same thing, I'm just going to draw small projections. So all these on this side. So I'm just going to embellish it this way. So this one, so I'm going to do everything on this side. I'm not going to do anything on that side. That side I will be doing a shading. If you want to do it on both sides, that's fine, but I'm just going to leave it one side. think I have the snippet of this pattern which I've done it last year on my YouTube channel, but over the year, more practicing, I've learned a little more shortcuts to do and tips to do this process pattern. So I might do another snippet onto mine and put it on my YouTube. Do you find this pattern challenging? You could reply out here. Right? So if I look at this as a line as a reference, I've drawn these. I'm just okay. I can do it here also. Yeah, and given this, I can just do it a little out here. Right, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the shading. Right, so we're going to do the shading. What I'm going to do is the shading is on this side. I'm just going to keep this as my reference, and I'm just going to shade right on the reference to this line. Just putting a little of my graphite. And if you see, we don't put it this way, we put it in the slanting way. And the more you want a little more darker, keeping your pencil little on the darker side, sharper side, that helps. And give you another more tip. If you see this, the shapes of the pencil and all the sharpness of different things would be inside this, so you don't need to search, and you can put your waste also inside this, and you have your sharpener also here, so you can choose it. So it's like any of your jam bottle or anything, if you want it, you can use this. I have a decorated one which I store but this is not decorated with where I do my bottle painting. I've just not done it because that was, so you can use this. Right, and then what we do is we take our stub and pull it from inside the side. Just a rotation movement. You see that it's giving you a we can do a little more, so I will be putting a little more graphite. Now what we're going to do is on each of these sides, I said I am not going to do on this side, which is this side, so I'm just going to put a graphite. Just putting it in a rotation mode, or you can put a straight, that's fine. Because anyway you're going to spread it, so if it's not straight, I mean not in a rotation mode, if it's not, it's also fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my stub and smoothen it up and pull it up. And if you're going to create your tile, please remember to tag me and share your tile. So I'm going to use my Posco. This is not my Sakura. I'm going to use the Posco because it's little on the broader, and I'm using this to check because I've used my blue. Now I'm going to use a black to check as my sample, to check how do they stand, do they fade, or they're good. Actually I use them on my bottle painting. Need to be careful because they take time to dry. They come in different colors. So you just mark space and then do it, so it's easy to fill in. I usually use graphic pen because they are a little broader, or a little broader Sakura. Now you have 10 and 12 sizes. I use those, or I use identity pen, or I use a Sakura's one more we have, which is of a broader one, which is a Pigma pen. So I use those. So today I'm going to just wanted to try this on a tile because I've never tried it on a tile. So I wanted to use it on a tile and see it. This is just the trick you just need to remember. So always when you have such challenging one, you could do it in a pencil and then you could ink it on top of it. That's an easier trick to do it. So if I have to show you, sometimes I have always tried it on here on my brewers to try it out, and then I go and play it out here also. So you could do that, right? So I'm just going to little inked it up more. Graphite, I'm sorry, not ink, graphite. Just on the edge a little more. We could do this also. You can continue on it by doing this, so that this is got left out. Right. So I just will show you the page which I had dedicated to the some of the patterns of Thomas Protro on my journal. You will understand how fun his patterns are. So this is something from my journal. So if you see, I have written his name also out here, Thomas Protro. So they're like, I have played with all his patterns out here. Really, it's like you really need to challenge yourself, and you really want to keep your mind occupied, really focused. When you start doing such patterns, that kind of, you know, gets your mind into occupied and keeps you concentrated and lets you. And if you want to really relax, do any other pattern and just relax yourself. Don't do challenging patterns, because it might kind of get you into, so how comfortable are you? You need to do that. Welcome, Christina. Thank you, Anjali. So the smaller one, and here we go with one more of it, which these all I've done it last year. This was in last year Valentine time we had done this. So it's the same thing, but they look different. This is using as a art string. I have done it for one of my students last year when we had a session. So I would have some more of his style. I go on his Taiga pattern. So here if you see it, I did alternate shading. I didn't do it on every place. I have done it on alternate. So you can see that. So there's different ways. So this shading, there is no shading is to be done only in this way or a different way. So you can use a little more heavier thing and can use it. So unless you're comfortable with shading, you can do it. Otherwise you can, but you can do a very light shading. Well, I've done a very light shading out here. So Year and then year I've done the same kind of a thing. So see, all are different. Well, I tried doing the same thing, but here it's little on the compressed because the way your fingers got faced. This is again little bigger because I have got a little. So we don't get bored doing the same pattern because your results is going to be different. So breathe, focus, relax is the word what would I be saying it. And thanks for joining in and joining me in this session, because it kind of really relaxed me up. Like I said in the mid of the session, or the way a lot of things which happen in my inner circle of my friends, which is really heartening to hear and be part of it. So, and you will notice I have not been putting off any of my paid sessions because I have no, unless someone asks me, I'm taking those classes for them, but currently not. So grateful to the Zentangle community and Maya and Rick, who created this beautiful art form at this stage of our life where we're going through a lot. It's really helping a lot. So just spread it to your friends, your family, your dear ones. Let them also do join the sessions and get them relaxed, because there's a couple of them who had sent me and they had actually just watched. They said just watched and they felt so relaxing. So just spread it. So like I said in the beginning of the session, that I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, teaching it, and so we know the methodology and we know the art to teach and mentor. So learn from a certified Zentangle teacher, right? So enjoy, relax, and if you missed from the session, you could follow from my IGTV. If it is, I get to save it, I don't have it. Otherwise, I have a snippet of it on my so this is what we practiced. So there's a snippet of it in already in my YouTube last year. I would also again put one more. Right? See you all next Tuesday. Till then, stay safe, take care of yourself and your dear ones. Goodbye. Thank you. And if you're particular that you want to focus next 2 months, this month and the next month, only particularly on a grid tile or a free flowing, do drop in a message to me. So then accordingly I will also pick it up and do it. The otherwise I was thinking about reusing whatever we learned so far in different way. So we could do that also. Right? So see you all next Tuesday. Ciao, take care, good day to you all, happy week.